Welcome to another episode of From Amateur to Expert Daily, where we talk about your work, your wealth, and how to position yourself as a top-level expert. A few videos back, we met Janine Carley-James, a leading stylist, who is able to take even people like myself and make us look vaguely presentable, which is no small feat indeed. Janine, great to have you back.
Thank you.
Great. So where did we get to? What ground have we covered so far?
We talked about the non-verbal communication, clothes and posture communicate to the people that we meet.
Sits up straight.
That's
yes.
it.
Yeah.
We encourage people to assess where they are at the moment. Is a change required? Revisit your wardrobe, do a wardrobe edit, and elevate your look.
Fantastic. And if you'd like to watch that previous video, just click on the link here and you can get yourself up to speed, jump right back. And today we're taking that one step further. And if I remember correctly, we were talking about virtuous or vicious circles.
Yes, previously we have spoken about the external communication we emit through our clothes and our posture. But what we haven't spoken about is the internal messaging. So what we wear reflects a message back to us as well.
And presumably determines how we think of ourselves.
Absolutely. It reflects our state, our mental state.
Okay.
So if we have a look at the vicious circle first, because that's a really easy one to get into. I think most people find themselves in this at some point in life, and I certainly did, is how does it happen? How does it, come about? Basically, it can be like an emotion or a hardship that you've gone through in life, and you're just not feeling great about yourself, but it can be also a very practical reason as well. Let's think about how people usually start their mornings. They start the day on the back foot. They've hit the snooze button one or two times too many,
Yes.
and they're on the back foot before they even leave the door.
Wake up,
They're
and
rushed.
time pressures, you're not feeling great, you're under stress.
That's it.
Another day.
You've got kids to sort out. Let's just say you've got a lot of things
Yes.
to do, and you need to get yourself into traffic to get to work on time.
Yeah, life's happening at you full blast.
Absolutely. So you go to your wardrobe, and what's the first thing most people think, if they don't say it out loud, is, what am I going to wear today? What they do is they pick the garment, the clothes that are on the laundry pile at the top. They
Right.
put that on,
Okay.
or they go to the go-to outfit. You know, that one that everybody puts together because
Yes.
that skirt goes with that top, those pants go with that shirt, and
So
so on
under
and so on.
stress, it's just the easiest, most familiar
Yes,
thing.
that's it. So people get clothed, but they don't get dressed. So there is a difference between those two.
Right.
So you're not looking your best, you leave, and people reflect the language, the communication that you're putting out there. So if you're looking blah, guess what?
You're showing the world. Blah.
Blah.
Yeah.
So what are you going to get back?
Blah.
Blah. So, we're oversimplifying it here, but really, that is what happens. You're feeling a bit drab, you're feeling a bit dreary, and you look in the mirror throughout the day, and it confirms it. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a bit of a downer.
Perhaps even in a worst case scenario, someone working from home, exactly the same dynamic. It's the ease of just picking up the thing that's there, the thing that's familiar, and that's the rest of your day. And you're possibly not just underdressed, but barely even dressed. It's easy just to chuck on a bathrobe. Worst case scenario.
Of course it is. And it adjusts your psychological state.
So there's a danger to it.
There is a danger to it. So if we have a look at the opposite, which is the one we want to achieve, it's the virtuous circle.
Right.
You think about what you're going to wear, you put something on, you look the best you can that day, and you leave the house looking as good as you can.
Yes, it has a strategy to it. You're doing it by design.
Correct.
Right.
So, you look good, you smile, people smile back, and it just sets your day up for success.
Yes.
So we want to get into that virtuous circle.
Right. And I suppose thinking of an extreme example, if you take a military uniform, it's there to teach them who they are and to get certain kinds of behavior. When you are in that uniform, you are behaving like that kind of person.
You pick up the characteristics of the clothes. So if you're formal, you're going to act more formally.
It lifts your standards in subtle subconscious ways.
If you're casual, you will act more casual. This is why Casual Fridays drive me and lots of employers a little bit mad, because it alters your psychological state. And so what happens on a Friday? Everybody's in the mindset of the weekend.
Right. We are signaling to ourselves and to others that this is kind of beer and chips day. It's already down there.
We're getting ready for the braai at the weekend. So let's look at what we can do then. Is I would encourage everybody to dress more thoughtfully and consciously and less automatically.
Right.
And to do that, you need to start planning.
Okay.
So everybody needs to brace themselves at this point because what I'm going to recommend everybody do, try it at least once, is plan for an entire week. And when I say plan, I mean put together 7 outfits for the entire week.
Right. I've never thought to do that, and I think most people would share that.
What happens when you wake up in the morning? You haven't got the stress of what am I going to wear because you've pre-planned your outfits. You go to your rail or the part of the wardrobe that you've set aside for this and you pick the outfit that is appropriate or that you feel like for the day. And when I say plan, I mean plan. Everything on one hanger, the top, the trousers, the skirt, the whole outfit, any accessories for ladies, the shoes, pick it up and go. And that's the last time you have to think about your apparel. You then get on with your day and get going with what you need to achieve.
And I suppose you can be even more strategic as a result of that, because where you might have worn the same outfit, say, over a couple of days or with a few days interspersed, you're now looking at it over a broad spectrum of time and going total impression created over a week. And that's a different ballgame.
And there's lots of practical reasons to do this as well, because it forces you to use your wardrobe in its entirety instead of the same old things over and over again.
Yes. And I'm sure, like most people in the universe, I use about 1/10 of my closet and the rest just sits there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that's action number 1, is plan for the week. What have we got for action number 2?
Action number 2 is when you're planning your wardrobe, look at your clothes, try them on if need be, and actually check how they fit. I'm not asking you to check if they fit, because on the wardrobe edit, anything that doesn't fit should have been moved out anyway. I'm asking, how does it actually fit? Okay, so for this, if there are any clothes that you have which are not fitting perfectly, and the reason I'm asking people to do this is because a shop-bought item can look high-end and bespoke if it fits properly.
Yes.
So go to a tailor, or if you're fortunate enough to have somebody in the family that can sew, is have it adjusted so it fits you perfectly. So it's all in the fit.
The difference that makes is astonishing. And I mean, this is your area of expertise, but I was amazed at the difference the first time I saw it. I had a store-bought suit that I thought looked reasonably good, and I was part of a little television documentary, and as a result of that, they tailored it to me. And when I stood in front of the mirror and saw the end result for the first time, it was like this penny dropped and I went, oh, it's a different universe. If you haven't done it, if you haven't tried it, if you haven't experienced it, I don't think you quite appreciate how much of a difference it makes.
It really does. So the key thing to look for on fit for guys, for instance, is the shoulder seam.
Okay.
Does the shoulder seam actually fit on the shoulder?
Yes.
In terms of the jacket length, does it just cover the zipper of the trousers, or is it too short or too long? And the other key thing that I always notice, and it's a really easy fix, is the length of the trousers. So often I see guys walking around with the trousers concertina onto the shoe.
Yes.
So yes, they should be 1 or 2 breaks, 1 or 2 folds onto the shoe, but no more than that.
Right.
So these are really easy fixes to remedy. It's going to cost you a fraction of what it would cost new.
Right, so we're looking for the seam of the shoulder lining up, a small amount of ruffle on the shoe, but not too much, and of course it becomes comical if you go the other way as well. And I've found with things like jackets, very easy just to get the waist taken in a little, and that changes the shape that you project.
That's right, it's called a drop. From the shoulder to the waist, it's the drop. Right. And even if you don't have a waist, you can create the illusion of a waist if you have your jacket tailored in. Very sneaky.
And for the ladies?
Same as well.
Okay.
You can do that with the jacket as well, and for skirts and dresses it's the same, just drop the hem if you need to.
Great.
Just do little tweaks that will make a big difference.
So a lot of this has to do then with making sure that you get to a tailor, making sure that everything fits, looks right. Should you be following the fashion trends in order to achieve that? Is that a good idea?
I don't think it is a good idea because fashions change, I joke, over lunchtime.
Yes.
So women's fashion certainly does. Men's it's a lot slower, it's still there.
Yeah.
So I would say rather tune into your body shape, your lifestyle, your character, and dress for that in a stylish way.
Right.
So hone in on some of the classics.
Yes, safer to go classic than trendy?
Definitely, because you can make or give it a trendy edge by adding certain things. It might be the shoes, it might be an accessory, a scarf, a piece of jewellery for ladies.
Yeah.
So certainly hone into your own sense of style. It should always look on trend, like you belong in this decade.
Yes.
In other words, you look relevant. You don't want to look outdated, otherwise what's the message you're sending out?
Yeah.
I'm outdated, the way I work is outdated,
Right.
I'm not upwardly mobile.
Absolutely. I'm always amazed by how classic doesn't seem to date. And by that I mean, if you see a men's classic suit from, say, even the 1920s, Chicago, that kind of era, it looks good and it looks modern today. Whereas if you go forward to, say, the 1970s, that looks old-fashioned. There's something odd about how trendy dates faster than classic.
It does. Really, with your wardrobe, ideally you need about 70% classic, and then you need the rest to be the fun stuff, the trendy stuff, things that you just enjoy that sort of put you in that year maybe, but your big purchase, big ticket prices should really be allocated to the classics.
Well, Janine, thank you so much for that. And of course, it's all part of positioning yourself as an expert, making the most out of your life, and realizing your fullest potential. If you enjoyed this video, please watch out for the next one that Janine and I will do together. And of course, they can visit your website.
Absolutely. restyleyou.co.za.
restyleyou.co.za. And Janine does this professionally, changing lives and changing careers. And all of that, of course, is part of owning your industry. We'll do this again sometime soon. What are we going to cover?
It's a big secret.
So in other words, we'll think about it and then we'll write it down.
Something like that.
Okay, it's a big secret which we know but can't share with you quite yet. That's our story and we're sticking with it. Great, thank you so much, Janine. I think we can end with that. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, that's good.